We have the final cards from Duma Dimensions, and it's a total of 8 different cards. We have 4 monsters, an Exceed, a Link, a Spell, and a Trap card. So let's get into it, and let's talk about these 5 cards. So first off, we have a brand new Varfare the Kick Deity. It is a level 11 Earth Fiend effect monster with 2100 attack and 800 defense. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field that targets a monsters you control, or when your monster is targeted for an attack by an opponent's monster, quick effect, you could special summon this card from your hand, then you could reveal 1 card from in your hand to the opponent, then apply this effect to the opponent's monster based on the type of card revealed. Monster, change it to face down defense position, or change it to defense position. Spell, its attack becomes double, and trap, banish it. In my opinion, I definitely think that this is going to be used in decks like Labyrinth because it is a fiend monster and they run a lot of traps, so you can just, when your opponent targets a monster you control by a monster effect, or if they try and attack into you, you can use the effect and just reveal the trap and pretty much banish that monster. So overall, I definitely think it's going to be useful in certain decks going down the line. And honestly, it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here on out. Next up, we have a new Sphinx monster being the Chakraartin Sphinx. It's a level 8 rock effect monster, 2500 attack and 3000 defense. You can use it in Regenesis, and also Dragon's Mind is a card. And I just did a short on this because this card's actually really unique. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If the battle position of a monster's is changed, you can banish 1 spell from your graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard if it was there when the position changed, or hand even if not. So you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard if a battle position changes, and banishing a spell from your graveyard. During your main phase, you can set 1 Book of Taiyu and or 1 Book of Moon from your deck and or graveyard. This is really cool because being able to set a Book of Moon or Book of Taiyu is one thing that a lot of players really wanted years ago, and now we finally have it. And once per turn, if the battle position of another monster is changed, you can target 1 card on the field, return it to the hand. So I think this is a free agent for both Mimighoul and also Enacraft, dealing with Book of Taiyu and Book of Moon, flipping things up and down, changing battle positions, Pac-Man style type card that gains you advantage. So honestly, if this card was around in GOAT format and when Pac-Man was a thing, this card would be really broken because you constantly would get an additional of a destruction or a bounce once per turn. It would probably be forbidden back then, but who knows how cards today would have affected back then. But this is a really powerful card, and I honestly can't wait for this to come out because I really love Book of Moon as a card. Whenever I see it in my binder, I always think, do I want to run this in my deck to stop my opponent from doing specific plays if they're playing like Ryzeal or Malice or any other deck that utilizes multiple monsters don't go into either Exceed Summon or Link Summon, or even against rogue strategies where they're weaker 2 cards like Book of Moon. So overall, this is a really solid card. It's even fun in sealed formats. I definitely can't wait to see how this is going to affect some of the decks going into the future. Next up, we have TryHeaded Behemoth. We have a twin-headed Behemoth retrain, and it's a level 4 Wind Dragon effect monster with 1500 attack and 1200 defense, and you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per duel. If a face-up cards you control is destroyed by a card effect, even during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate this effect during the end phase of this turn. Special summon 1 wind monster from your graveyard, but its attack and defense becomes 1000. So when I think about this card, I think of like a combo deck that can utilize the True Kings, or things that just destroy monsters or cards by effects on your turn. Like even the new Magnificestorm archetype could probably utilize this because it just summons a wind monster from the graveyard for free. And it doesn't negate the effects. It only makes the attack and defense 1000 apiece. So I could see this being utilized in certain win decks going into the future, because if you could just go activate MST, target one of your set spell or trap cards, destroy it, trigger that, chain 2, this gets to summon for free, then you get to activate the effect to summon out a wind monster from your graveyard for free. You can even utilize it in Doom Z if an equipped spell is destroyed. So there's that. So overall, I definitely think that this is a really good free agent. Might be a card to try out and tech with it to see how it goes. But I definitely think that being a level 4 has its merits. And also being a dragon also has more merits going on into the future. After that, we have Tao Tao the Chanter. They kind of just gave a Dark Magician Girl to Tao the Chanter, and it's kind of shocking that the TCG still doesn't have Tao the Chanter. But we have Master Tao the Chanter being the illusion upgrade. And this is another illusion monster being a level 2 Earth Illusion Tuner effect monster. I think this is like the 3rd illusion tuner monster, because there's Poplar and maybe something else, but it has 900 attack and 600 defense, and you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn, and of course that's the illusion clause, being if this card battles a monster, neither could be destroyed by that battle. And the second effect is, if you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon one level 3 or higher illusion monster from your hand or graveyard, or if you took 2,000 or more damage, you can special summon it from the deck or extra deck instead. So this card is good on paper. It is really interesting because you get to tutor out any illusion monster from your graveyard or your hand. And honestly, this could be utilized in certain strategies, especially things like Chimera could possibly use it. You can even use it in other decks as well that utilizes a lot of illusion monsters. But if you manage to take 2,000 damage off of something, you could just summon out something like the Memento Combined Conqueror, or even Chimera, the Illusion Beast, or even a lot of other things like the Hecatonchery. Xeno is a good option to summon, and even you could summon out the other one from the graveyard for the Hecatonchery archetype. So this is a really interesting utility card. At most, it's probably going to be a one of, but overall, it's niche. You have to take damage to utilize the effect, so it's definitely on the slower side, and honestly, that is that. Definitely going to get a copy for my illusion binder because I love collecting the illusion cards. Next up, we have Surzabuth Li Margia of the Ebon Irons. It's a new rank 7 dark monster that is a beast exceed effect with 700 attack, funny with the level or the rank, and 2,500 defense. A couple monsters with 2,500 defense have been revealed, which is kind of interesting. But it takes 2 plus level 7 monsters. I instantly think Kashtira could utilize this because it is a rank 7. But you can also use it in things like Regenesis if you need to. You can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. It gains 700 attack for each material attached to it. Once per chain, when a normal or quick play spell card is activated, quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this face-up card, and if you do, this card is unaffected by the activated effects. And the third effect is, during the end phase, you can set one spell attached to this card. So, Widow Anchor just doesn't do anything against this. And a lot of other quick play spells. Sorry about all the yawning. But all the quick play spells that can be utilized literally get shut off by this. If they go activate talents, no. If they activate thrust, cool, give me it. If they activate engage, that's cool, that's mine now. This is going to be a very interesting card, especially with Zeus being a monster. So you could just attach everything your opponent activates if they can't get rid of it. But overall, I definitely think that this is a OTK against stuff like Sky Striker because they're going to lose all their resources. And if they even go activate one, this goes, then Widow Anchor, you're probably going to have something to back up this card, especially. So it definitely has a lot of merit for some decks to actually utilize. And honestly, I definitely think that this is a really good rank 7, and I cannot wait to see how this shapens up. After that, let's get into the Myma Necromancer. It is a brand new Link 2 Dark Spellcaster Link effect monster with an 1800 attack. and it points left and right. And right off the bat, I definitely see something that needs to be mentioned. So let's get into it. So it takes 2 monsters, including a Dark Spellcaster monster. You're going to be playing this in Dark Magician, no worries. And you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. And if this card is link summoned, you could add 1 level 5 or higher Dark Spellcaster monster from your graveyard to your hand. And if you do, you cannot activate the effects of cards with its name for the rest of this turn. You can send 1 spell check card from your hand or field to the graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Normal summon 1 spellcaster monster. Oh, they gave them a link too that could recycle stuff. You could get the new Dark Magician Girl Apprentice from Shining Sarcophagus from the graveyard back to the hand. And overall, I definitely think that this is a very interesting link too. It looks like Invader from the Shadows. Okay, after looking up the answer, it is a retrain of the Shadow who controls the dark. And that's quite interesting to think about, that this is a retrain for this card because the artwork looks exactly the same for the monster. And honestly, this is really cool. That's kind of awkward that this card is a retrain of this. That's a Fiend monster that kind of doesn't track well. So that's very interesting to think about. A Fiend monster getting retrained into a spellcaster. But overall, it's a very useful card for Dark Magician. It's also a useful card for any spellcaster deck, like maybe Magistus, Witchcrafter, and all those, Endymion and all that. So honestly, it's a useful link too, and can't wait to see what else this does in the future. Then after that, let's get into the Apocaries. It is a continuous spell card. It's not summer like I thought it was going to be with the season counters, but when this card resolves, place C counters on this card equal to the number of cards your opponent controls. You can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and remove up to 4 C counters from your field. Apply this effect to that monster based on the number removed. Loses 500 attack, change its attacks to 0, negate its effects, or destroy it. This is just a gimmicky card. I really think it's cute, and honestly, definitely is one of the things that is just there as just a free agent. And overall, yeah, it's very interesting to say. Also, I do want to say that the artwork is just full of chibis. It's adorable outside of that, and it's in some dude's mouth, but it makes sense. It's tooth decay. And finally, we have Miss Okiku Disymmetic. It is a continuous trap card, and once per chain, when your opponent activates a card or effect, you could place dish counters on this card equal to the chain link number of this effect. Apply these effects based on the number of dish counters on this card. 9 or less, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. 10 or more, send this card to the graveyard. And the third effect is, if this card is sent to the graveyard by its own effect, you can send the top 10 cards of your deck to the graveyard. It being a continuous trap is very slow on this. If it was a continuous spell, that would be broken. Being able just to say, oh yeah, just dump 10 cards for free. But overall, I definitely think that these are really gimmicky, the past 2 cards, and overall, I definitely think that this is going to be very, very interesting of a set to impact the game, especially with the Marshmallow Yummy and its new cards and the new Canine cards and just a few other things here and there. But it's going to be a waiting game to see what this set affects for the OCG. But anyways, I've been BoltSpider. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. And goodbye.